Hello. I wanted to connect today to support in bringing forward whatever it is in this now moment would support you in this major transformation that is occurring for humanity and for each of us right now. And so when I tune into what that is, it feels like the most helpful would be to simply remind you of who you really are in truth. And, in this experience, in this physical experience, often we forget that there are aspects of us beyond the physical. And we get kind of lost in an identity of this physical self that we can't really see beyond it. We don't really see beyond the issues of what physicality attempts to convince us is important and is like the source of our survival, the source of our safety, the source of our freedom, the source of our empowerment. And so what I would invite you into is a remembering that the physical experience is a way for us to experience ourselves and to receive a feedback around what we're actually being invited on a soul level, on a vibrational level, to cultivate more of. So if we're having an experience of ourselves as disempowered, as a victim, or someone else, and that we kind of set up this battle with victim consciousness or victimhood and wanting to solve the problem of it, that actually creates a tension and a distortion where we're taking our energy and we're trying to fix what's out here. And we all have good intentions around that. But what I would invite you into is that as above, so below. So if we connect into ourselves as an energetic being, as a multidimensional being, and that's who everyone is, we're all extensions of an infinite source. We have an energy component to ourselves, a vibrational component to ourselves, which is vast, which is infinite, which has no beginning and no end because we are an extension of the infinite creator itself. And so if we begin to perceive ourselves as that, and we expand into that perspective of ourselves while we're having this experience, we begin to navigate it differently. And instead of getting in an identification of a battle with what's appearing here, we can begin to recognize that this appearance is inviting us into a different alignment, a different identification and vibration, so that we can model the solution for whatever this is for the collective. And that's really the best and highest way we can be of service during this time, is to demonstrate where we're going, which is unity, to demonstrate the vibrations of love, of compassion, of the beyond right versus wrong dynamic, because the right versus wrong dynamic is what perpetuates separation consciousness. So even if we're in a virtuous point of view to fight against a victim experience in some way, shape, or form, and that appears virtuous, when we root in needing to get rid of this appearance of victim consciousness, we can call it racism, we can call it separation, we actually empower the very thing we're wishing to retire. And all of these dynamics of separation, the victim, the tyrant, the black versus white, all of that's actually being invited to retire right now. And if we can begin to have conversations outside of that dynamic, we can begin to be the bridge for what wishes to birth here. And it requires us to let go of those points of view, the polarity, the right, wrong, good, bad, whatever that is. And so how do we do that? Well, the first thing is we root in who we are. Okay, I am this multidimensional being of light. So is every other aspect of life. And what I deeply desire, because I'm seeing this distortion of black versus white, power, empowerment, disempowerment, and it's distorted. It's not who we're meant to be. And so there's a part of you that feels that sense of injustice or that sense of, ooh, there's a distortion here. Recognize that is accurate. That sense of, oh, wait, this isn't really how we're meant to function. Not that it's wrong, it's a choice. And so now what? Well, I'm choosing to function from unity. I'm choosing to function from empowerment. I'm choosing to function from equanimity and to see all beings as equal, even those who have forgotten who they are and have forgotten this perspective and are really in an identification of separation and in defending a point of view. And this is where it can be challenging. So invite your higher self, your Body Davis higher self, to receive the downloads from Creator itself, from Source, how to be in that state of awareness and compassion, in the unity consciousness, in the equanimity, in the knowing of the equanimity, in spite of what's going on out here, in spite of the battle that is taking place in the physical right now. Because as you activate within you what's already available in the higher realms, this equanimity, this empowerment, this unification, this not trying to get rid of, because that's separation, but having compassion for, having awareness and not resisting, not trying to fix, but just, oh, well, that's interesting. There's an identification in a dynamic of separation, of duality here, and I'm choosing beyond it. And then invite your higher self to activate it within you. We don't have to know what that looks like in our templates and our matrix. Our higher self knows. And it can sound something like, I'm willing to be the bridge for the solution beyond this battle, beyond this attack defense dynamic, because I know who I am in truth, and I know who all beings are in truth. And can you feel the expansion in that? Where we're not trying to fix anything on the physical level, because the physical realm is actually the reflection of what's activated and chosen. And as you become the way shower, you make it easier for others to choose it. You become the beacon, the example, the light in the darkness, the way out of that dynamic. And just take a deep breath in. And you're being reminded, this is coming through, wanting to remind you that it's a choice and you don't have to choose it. But if you do choose it, you may need to choose it again and again and again as we move throughout our days, our weeks, through this birth canal that humanity is currently moving through, this rebirth, where we can get caught up in the distortion and then we recenter ourselves, move back into the perception of what's really going on, what's really true, what do I really have access to, and I can choose for me. So what do I choose to align and agree with in this moment? Well, and that's speaking for myself, and as an example, I'm choosing to align and agree with the equanimity of all beings outside of the conversations of the duality, because you can't solve a problem on the level it was created. And I'm choosing to bring in the templates, the ways of being that allow for the new to actually begin to birth. It can sound something like that, with the attitude that we're inviting the activation of it, inviting our higher selves to activate it within us, and to let go of anything that doesn't allow that. Any attachments to stories, any attachments or judgments or conclusions about anyone or anything based on past experience, other expressions and other dimensions. I'm willing to forgive and release it all. Divine self, will you help me? I'm willing. My job is to be willing. And then the higher self can do the work. You can think of it, for some of you are in the teaching, the Holy Spirit can do the work for you. You choose it, then you allow it. Ask and receive. That's it. So as we remember that our job is to choose and stand in the empowerment of that, in right alignment of who we are, what we have access to, what's really going on, we begin to function in a more empowered way as the multidimensional being of light that we truly be, as we were created to function. And as we remember to function that way, we help others remember, just through our example, that it's possible. So thank you. Thank you for your willingness to be here at this time, at this auspicious turning point in consciousness, in this evolutionary leap that we get a front row seat to. And we are going to magnificent places that are imminent. There's no going back. So know that the sun is rising. The new is being birthed, even in this chaos. And you can be a bridge for that. You can support the acceleration of the new beginning to manifest here. Much love to each of you. And if you found this helpful, you can find more videos on our YouTube channel at Omaji and Daria. And also there are other options to participate with us on our website at embracingtheinfinite.com. On behalf of the Council of Light, your guides, your angels, and the divine, remember who you are. Remember you are loved. And may you remember the empowerment and the grace and ease that is available to you at this time. Much love.